Shalom, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as always, we'll be talking about our weekly Torah portion, Parshas Shelach. And the main story of the Parsha Shelach are the spies that Moshe sends to the land of Israel to gather information. I'm sure you know the story, but before that, I want to share with you some of my views about the profession, one of the most ancient professions in the world. Don't think anything wrong. I want to talk about journalism. There are many titles for the people that are representatives of this profession. They're reporters, they're observers, they're commentaries, they're presenters. But in general, there are two approaches. There are those that report and present the news, and those that observe and comment on the news and explain to us what does it mean. So why I'm talking about this? Because the original idea of sending spies into the land of Israel has Moshe decided, with the permission of God, that they will go, they get the information, then bring the information. And everything seemed to be fine. The spies came back after the 40 days and they say that it's a beautiful land, very fertile land. It's you've been there, you know. And they also reported truly that there are very good fortified cities that are very hard to capture. Everything is okay until they start to tell them, to tell the Jewish people, to tell us that we were themselves as spies like grasshoppers in the eyes of the local residents. But you know to read between the lines. One thing, how did they know what the local residents that they didn't have any interaction with because they were spies? They probably were hiding from them. How do they know what they think? Are they got into their head? Are they looked at themselves through the eyes of the local residents? They start to interpret the news. And then from there it went on. We know that it was a lie, because 40 years later, when the Jewish people entered the land of Israel under the leadership of Yeshua, Rahav, who greeted the new 40 years later spies in the land of Israel, in Jericho, she tells that, where you been? We were all scared of you. We were shaking like a leaf in the fall. And we know that they were lying. They were not necessarily lying, they were interpreting. They say we cannot conquer this land, and they will kill us, and they enslave our children and the wives. They were interpreting with their own personal agenda. Good or bad doesn't matter, but it wasn't a journalism. This was a narrative that they promote among the nations. Unfortunately, how it's ended? It's ended with the creation of the day that we call 9th of Av, the saddest day in our history. The whole generation was sentenced to die in the desert. 9th of Av is the day when the first temple was destroyed, second temple was destroyed. All the most terrible events in our history took place on that day, when they stopped to be reporters, but start to be observers, journalists. They start to promote their own agenda. They started the narrative instead of journalism. And maybe if we will learn how to understand just the information and tell just the information, maybe then we'll cancel all the hate and the wars in the world, in our country, among our people, among us, members of the one family. Good luck. Thank you. I see you next week.